Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Grand Bazaar. I have finally returned after a very long recovery period from a cold that took me out for way longer than I would have thought. And it has been a very long time since I've done a recording. I have managed to make quite a bit of progress off screen, however. We last checked in on the 8th day of summer, where we smashed our previous sales goal. We set a new record, managed to move a lot of inventory, and I've played all of this week ever since. A very, very uneventful week, not really much going on, just continuing on and just waiting for the sheep festival to roll around. This is our final animal festival. So next year it will change back to a cow festival again. So it's the first time that we have had a chance to enter any of our sheep. And we've had sheep for a long time. I got my first 2 sheep in year 1, and we currently have 4 sheep. So we're lucky that we have more than one option here. What I almost completely forgot about, however, is that your sheep has to have its wool in order to be able to participate in this competition. So when I was doing this in practice for my first time, I was just going on my merry little way, trying to kill some time before the sheep festival began, and I was milking my cows, and I just naturally, muscle memory, went ahead and took off all of the wool that was on my sheep, and then I went to go enter into the competition, and I was not able to due to the fact that my sheep's coat was gone. So I'm just extremely fortunate to happen to have one sheep that is not bald at the moment, and it just so happens that it is also our second sheep that has a full 10 hearts. Like all animal festivals, you don't necessarily have to have your animal at an extremely high heart level. We would be able to get on just fine if there was another sheep that we had to enter, but it does make it significantly easier if we're going to be entering a sheep that has a higher affection level. So I am kind of just killing time at the moment, and there's not a lot for me to give in terms of updates here. One thing you'll notice is that the 2 trees in my basement are now fully mature, but I'm not in the correct season for these to be able to flower. So I am going to be changing the season in my basement very, very soon. I think I'm going to just wait for the next batch of pineapples to come in, and then after that I will go ahead and change the seasons up. And I'll probably change it to spring so that I can start getting olives off of this bottom tree here. And that will allow me to also get a little bit more profit, because there's a lot of spring seeds that I have left over from last season. And all of my pineapples should be coming in very, very soon. These are looking very, very close to their maturity date, which is great, because then I can start stockpiling lots and lots of pineapples, and we can get ready to sell those for when we have our big bazaar day in the fall. And I'm continuing here just to grow everything that I've planted earlier on, so we still have some corn going on, some tomatoes. My radishes are fully maxed out at a 5-star quality, and I kind of swap these with pumpkins every so often just to be able to grow a little bit of everything. And I've replanted 1 row of corn and 1 row of tomatoes because I'm struggling to increase their quality, unfortunately. My corn and my tomatoes are still fairly low quality, which I can't understand because I've been putting fertilizer on them constantly. But what I'm going to try and do is stick with higher level fertilizer that I can make myself. And even if I can't use fertilizer on every single crop, what I can do is pick 2 or 3 squares and just continuously put higher level fertilizer on those to see if it'll increase the quality, because I don't think that the 1/2-star fertilizer that I have right now is cutting it, unfortunately. And then out here in our little orchard area, we can see that we have another tree that has fully matured, and we have 1 tree that has been flowering, and I've started to get bananas off of this tree. So we are going to be getting some fruit in this season, which is pretty exciting. I will admit that I haven't really thought about all the things that I'm going to be able to do with said fruit. You can see here that I've got these bananas, but at least we have them and we've unlocked them, and it's just something new and different, and all of that time waiting for those trees to come in is hopefully going to be worth it. I'm just bringing along a few gifts that I can give out at our festival today. I've also got lots of bugs. And it's going to be noon here shortly, so we can just head on over to the festival now. I'll pick up some stuff along the way. I wish I had more of an exciting update, especially after being away for so long, but everything is just very, very routine for me at the moment. However, I am excited that this festival is sort of new, you could argue. It's the same animal festival that we've had for the last 2 years, but at least now we've had a chance to enter all of our different animals. And this should be another fairly easy first place win for us. And I know in my heart of hearts that I do not need to be picking up all of these flowers, but I just can't help myself. I did bring some along with me already to give out as gifts, so I guess I'll do that now. I'll start to offload some of these and try to increase my heart levels a little bit more. I have been making an effort still, even in year 3, to keep befriending all of the villagers. And when I wasn't able to do commentary, when I was too sick to do so, I was trying to upload a few of the random events that I've gotten with the villagers. And I would say that most of them are at a level where, as long as I can get the requirements met, I should be able to catch most of them in the game. And I've mostly just been sticking to easy stuff like flowers, herbs, especially in the summer because the freshness of things degrades so quickly, so it's really easy for me to get rid of all of that stuff. I'll even be a super nice neighbor. I'll come in here and I will give Raoul a gift. He kind of gets left behind, but I have a firefly here to give him. which is another very easy gift. I also have a beetle for Felix, but I'll wait until after we have done the competition. So I'm gonna go ahead and enter Fleece and keep my fingers crossed here. And this is why I love save states, because if this does not go well for us and we don't get first place, then I have the ability to reload and try again without having to restart the day. I'm really glad that they took out the feature of only being able to save at bedtime and forcing you to go to sleep. In the newer games, you can pretty much save whenever you want, and I think that that's a much better system. Now, our sheep has a heart above its head, and that is a good sign with us getting started here. So fingers crossed. Again, completely at random. I have no control over what our sheep is gonna do, so I just kind of have to hope for the best. And that is not good. It looks a little lost and confused here, and we are now falling really far behind. Run! 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 Oh, wow. See, it's so random. There's no rhyme or reason to it whatsoever, but it does help that our sheep is at a higher affection level. So there you have it. No need to reload. No concerns there. I really didn't have to reattempt this too many times in my free time either when I was doing this for the first time, so we will now be able to see our prize. And we have another win under our belt, which is always exciting. We've now been able to participate in all of the animal festivals. And we're gonna get ourselves a hunk of adamantite, which is not the best prize, but I guess it's also not the worst prize either. Doesn't have a lot of uses, doesn't sell for a great deal of money compared to other gems, but it's still something that we can sell. So it is what it is. And here is your beetle, Felix. We also get some additional friendship with our animal, although that is entirely useless in this situation because our sheep's hearts are already maxed out. And then we get a whopping 1,000 friendship with all of the villagers in attendance today as well for winning. And that will just help inch everybody's hearts up that much more, hopefully. And I'm just going to quickly stop by this windmill because, darn, I can't look at the list of items. Let's withdraw something just so that I can have a quick look. I'm fairly certain that entering a regular sheep doesn't change the outcome of what it's going to be able to produce. So once your chicken wins, for example, they'll be able to give you some golden eggs, but in this case, it looks as if you have to enter a Suffolk sheep in order to be able to get higher quality wool, which is kind of tragic because that means that although we won, and that's great, we don't have an animal who is now going to produce greater items for us, which is a little bit unfortunate. because wool is actually worth a decent amount of money. It does take a few more days. You have to be a little bit more patient with sheep. You don't get something every day like you do with cows. But I've been stockpiling all of my wool, and especially at higher levels, it's a fairly decent payoff. But at least we know that we got first. It's just another festival that we can cross off of our list. You can see here I am stockpiling, as I've said. And what's great about stockpiling all of the wool that I've been getting is that this stuff has no expiry date. And I'm hoping that the other stuff that I'm stockpiling, such as tea cans and gems, will last through the summer. In the summertime, all of our food degrades super quickly, but we don't have to worry about that with anything that does not have a freshness level. So if I keep stockpiling items and some of them lose their freshness and they're not going to sell for as much money, then at least I'll have wool, I'll have tea, I'll have some wine. I'll have a few things to fall back on that don't necessarily have an expiry date. So I'm kind of working on getting all of those stockpiled before our next bazaar, and still trying to do inventory management. I have a few spaces in both my bag and my storage right now, which is impressive. And that is about all I have for an update today. So not much going on. You can see that I've just finished making another piece of jewelry. I'm trying to keep the jewelry in the windmill just because they're taking up space at home in my storage, but it does kind of get in the way of me making more wool. So I will continue to manage all of that, hopefully. And I normally try and do a video for the bazaar, but when I was playing off screen in my own time, I actually found that there was really nothing of note at this bazaar day coming up. I didn't really buy anything, and I didn't really sell much either. There was just really not a lot of content and nothing much to say that would warrant its own video. So I am once again going to just play for a full week, and then we will check in on the 22nd day and we'll see how things are when that bazaar day rolls around, because another week from now, hopefully I'll be able to have a few things to sell, and maybe there'll be something that I'm interested in buying. So that is going to be it for me for this video. I'm very happy just to have another win under my belt. And in a week's time, hopefully I will have a few things more that we can talk about, and perhaps there'll be some changes coming up as well. Thank you all so very much for watching, and I hope that I will see you next time.